the hidden reason. You stay stuck. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to move forward while others stay in exactly the same place year after year? They have similar opportunities. They have access to the same information. Sometimes they even share the same dream. Yet somehow, one person grows while the other keeps waiting for the perfect moment. Most people believe the answer is motivation. Others blame discipline. Some think success belongs only to the talented. But modern psychology suggests a very different answer. The biggest obstacle isn't outside you. It isn't your job. It isn't your background. And it isn't bad luck. The biggest obstacle is hidden inside your own mind. Every single day, your brain makes thousands of decisions without asking for your permission. Should you wake up or sleep for 10 more minutes? Should you exercise or stay comfortable? Should you read or keep scrolling? These tiny choices may seem insignificant, but together, they quietly shape the direction of your entire life. Here's something surprising. Your brain doesn't wake up every morning thinking about your biggest goals. It doesn't care about the business you want to build. It doesn't care about the book you want to write. It doesn't care about the healthier life you imagine. Its first priority has always been survival. And survival often chooses comfort instead of growth. This isn't a personal weakness. It's ancient programming running quietly inside every human brain. To understand why comfort feels so powerful, we need to go back thousands of years to the world where the human brain was first designed. Your brain was never designed for success. Thousands of years ago, life looked completely different. There were no cities, no schools, no businesses, no smartphones, no social media. Every single day was about survival, finding food, avoiding danger, and staying alive until the next sunrise. Back then, the human brain developed one simple rule: save energy whenever possible, because wasting energy could mean not having enough strength when survival depended on it. Imagine walking for miles just to find food, climbing rough terrain, crossing rivers, and facing unpredictable dangers. Every movement cost precious energy, so your brain learned to avoid unnecessary effort. That ancient system still exists today, but the world has changed. Your brain hasn't. Today, you don't need to hunt for food. You don't need to escape wild animals. Yet your brain continues following the same ancient instructions. Whenever you face something unfamiliar, starting a business, learning a new skill, speaking in public, or changing your lifestyle, your brain doesn't immediately seek an opportunity. It first sees uncertainty, and uncertainty often feels like danger. That's why comfort feels safe. Not because comfort makes you stronger, but because your brain recognizes it. The familiar always feels easier than the unknown. This is why people often stay in jobs they dislike, delay important decisions, or continue habits they know are holding them back. Not because they enjoy suffering, but because their brain is choosing certainty over possibility. Understanding this changes everything, because once you realize your brain is protecting you instead of preparing you, you stop blaming yourself and you begin learning how to work with your mind instead of against it. The comfort zone is quietly controlling your life. Now here's the problem. Your brain confuses what is familiar with what is safe. But those two things are not always the same. Think about it. A person can complain about the same job for years, not because they enjoy it, but because it feels familiar. Another person may dream of starting a business, learning a new skill, or changing careers, yet they never begin because the unknown feels uncomfortable. And to your brain, discomfort often sounds like danger. This is how the comfort zone becomes a silent prison. It doesn't lock the door. It simply convinces you there's no reason to leave. Psychologists have found that people naturally prefer predictable outcomes, even when better opportunities are available. Why? Because certainty creates a temporary feeling of safety. Growth, on the other hand, always begins with uncertainty. Every successful person has experienced moments of doubt, moments of fear, and moments when they had no guarantee they would succeed. The difference isn't that they felt fearless. The difference is that they kept moving despite the fear. Your comfort zone doesn't disappear overnight. It becomes smaller every time you avoid something difficult, but it also becomes weaker every time you take one small step outside it. The first step will never feel easy, neither will the second. But something incredible begins to happen. Your brain starts collecting new evidence. Evidence that says, I survived. I can do this. I'm stronger than I believed. And little by little, what once felt impossible begins to feel completely normal. That is how real change always begins. The dopamine trap. If comfort keeps you from growing, dopamine keeps you coming back. Dopamine is often called the brain's reward chemical. But here's what most people don't realize. Dopamine doesn't simply reward you. It creates anticipation. It makes you want more. Every notification, every message, every short video, every endless scroll triggers a small dopamine response. For a brief moment, your brain feels rewarded. Then that feeling fades, and your brain starts looking for the next reward. One more video, one more scroll, one more click. Before you know it, 30 minutes have disappeared. Not because you planned it, but because your brain was following the easiest source of instant pleasure. This is why reading a book feels harder. Learning a new skill requires patience. Building a business demands consistency. Going to the gym takes effort. These activities offer delayed rewards. Your brain naturally prefers what feels good right now, not necessarily what is good for your future. But here's the incredible news. Your brain can be retrained every time you resist an instant distraction and choose a meaningful action. You're teaching your brain a new pattern. At first, it feels uncomfortable. Then, it feels manageable. Eventually, it becomes your new normal. Because your brain always strengthens the behaviors you repeat. The question is, what are you training your brain to repeat every single day? Rewire your brain, rewrite your future. Here's the truth. Your brain is not fixed. It is constantly changing. Every thought you repeat, Every habit you practice, every decision you make leaves a mark inside your brain. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, which simply means your brain can create new pathways through repeated experience. Think of it like walking through a forest. The first time, the path is difficult to see. You move slowly, branches block your way. But if you walk the same path every single day, it becomes clearer. Eventually, it turns into the easiest road to follow. Your brain works the same way. Every positive habit strengthens a new pathway. Every negative habit strengthens another. The good news is that you decide which path becomes stronger. You don't need to change your entire life overnight. You only need one small action. Read just one page. Exercise for just 5 minutes. Write one meaningful idea. Take one courageous step. Small actions, repeated consistently, create extraordinary results. Success is rarely built through giant leaps. It is built through ordinary actions, repeated on ordinary days. One day, you'll look back and realize the person you wanted to become was never created by one big decision. It was created by hundreds of small choices made consistently. So don't wait until you feel motivated. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Start with the smallest step you can take today, because your future isn't waiting for a miracle. It's waiting for your next decision. Remember, your mind is always learning. Teach it courage instead of comfort, discipline instead of delay, growth instead of fear. Because the quality of your future depends on the habits you build today. And in the end, success isn't about having a different brain. It's about training the one you already have. Thank you for watching. If this video changed the way you think, subscribe to Cognitive Vibes, because every week we explore the psychology behind success, human behavior, and the hidden patterns that shape our lives. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and never stop understanding your own mind.